Imagine, you're in the middle of a quiet Welsh forest. You start to hear the hums and the chirps of rally cars as its headlights dance towards you. All of a sudden, it whizzes by you. You harshly hear the rocks flinging, hitting trees, grass, and even yourself. A car then dips below the horizon and its taillights fade. This is rally racing. Today, I will discuss the demise of Group B, how it should have ended differently, and how it could still exist today. I've been a fan of motorsports my entire life, and I have read and watched many films and books about motorsports, and currently I do work in the motorsports industry. That is me in the back of that pickup. I will argue that Group B did not have to end so hastily, why the decision to stop it was flawed, and how it could still exist today. But first, let's familiarize ourselves. In 1986, Group B had two really bad accidents and was then promptly banned for 1987. Clearly, these accidents were a problem, and more could have been done to improve the car and spectator safety of the time. According to the WRC websites, these two accidents occurred in 1986. The Portuguese Ford driver Joaquim Santos crested a hill, veered his car to avoid the spectators standing close to the road, and when he lost control of his car, this feeling of control loss would have been something similar to like driving on black ice and not really knowing where the car is going to go until it's too late. So following the loss of control, his car then veered to the other side of the road, crashing into a crowd of spectators, killing 3 and injuring 30. A few rounds later in the Corsica Rally, young driver Henry Toivonen was just blasting on the Corsican countryside when his car plunged off the road when his fuel tanks were ruptured, burst into flames, and he and his co-driver were killed in the wreck. Clearly, these accidents were horrible, but something needed to be done. Following Group B, Group A was installed in 1987. This new class was slower and closer to their road-going counterparts. However, Group A didn't have to happen. A more thought-out safety process for the cars and spectators could have been implemented for the 1987 season. Even listening to drivers and listening to their simple fixes, like the suggestion of banning the use of slick tires on tarmac stages, could have been implemented. This is according to a race car engineering article. Drivers knew Group B was unsafe and unregulated. Drivers wanted to implement the use of crash tests on all cars to make sure that they were safe in case of bad accidents. Another safety feature, simple safety feature that could have been implemented is the use of a gravel guard on the bottom of a gas tank. This gravel guard was installed on gravel rallies in order to protect the gas tank from getting ruptured from stones and gravel coming up from the front tires. Unfortunately, when Henry was driving, it was not installed. It was a tarmac rally, so they had not had it installed due to wanting to save weight and therefore save time. Had that gravel guard been installed to save it from the tree, Henry very might be with us today. Things could have been done to prevent these accidents. Was it too much too quick for Group B? Was it not safe enough? Most certainly. The solution is twofold: to improve and regulate the safety of the cars and spectators. Even two-time champion Walter Rall agrees. In a 2015 Motor Trend article, he is quoted as saying he loved Group B and was angry when they made it stop. Yes, the deaths were unfortunate, but there was no need for a ban, he says. Safety could have been improved in the cars. Now, this solution that I'm bringing forward is based on my educational opinion and other safety actions taken by the governing body, the FIA. The solution would be to research various safety technologies and listen to the drivers. Drivers wanted to abolish the use of slick tires, as mentioned before, and they were concerned with the use of plastics in the cars in case of inhalation during fires in accidents. Also, another technology they could have fitted, which is now in modern rally cars, according to a 2020 Mobile One The Grid video, is the use of foam as seen here on either side of the co-driver and driver seats. This foam here protects the two passengers in case of a side impact, whether they hit a tree, rock, wall, or whatever that may be. Also, the implementation of a standardized spectator system / diagram to hand out to the spectators to make sure that they are informed of where to stand, and also having more marshals along the sides of stages. According to a 2015 safety video by the FIA, the more marshals along the stage to help better protect the spectators, the better. The second part of this solution would have been to monitor and police car and spectator safety more. This would require the creation of a safety committee for rallying as a whole to protect the cars and the spectators. They would also inspect the cars for safety elements before racing, as well as looking at the technical and sporting regulations of the car to make sure they are not cheating the system. Marshals, as I mentioned, would be placed more along the side of the road, would be encouraged to police spectators more and more to make sure everyone is safe in case that something goes wrong. And these new policies would be drafted over the course of a year with committee and competitor cooperation. mass communication with the spectators with safety zone diagrams, and today would be the use of social media. By making these cars and spectators safer, they reduce the risk of preventing these accidents that would happen in 1986. Drivers could then focus on being the fastest competitor out there instead of wondering if they're going to be the ones that are going to be in a big fireball crash. And the fans would still be able to enjoy the fast cars while being in safe spots and not tuning the cars down. The opposition to the solution I just laid out was to have been go on with Group A. However, this new class was implemented in a small amount of time and did raise some concerns. At first, drivers were concerned about the quality of the cars. They said that they were concerned about the suspension, steering, and brake systems of the new Group A cars, according to a race car engineering article. Another concern for the cars was the homologation requirements. Homologation requirements state where each class has to have a different amount of road-going cars built for that model. Group A required more road-going cars to be built than Group B did. This could have been a monetary concern for some of these manufacturers. Also, in my solution, we cannot go back in time. It is 2021, not 1986. So the current solution would be to bring Group B back as a support class to the World Rally Championship. And this would just be more beneficial than just having fans being able to watch these brilliant cars. There would be more sponsors involved, more support staff needed to support these cars, and it would boost local economies wherever this championship raced. If you would like to get involved, I highly suggest you look up Audi Quattro 1000 likes on YouTube and you turn up some speakers and you enjoy the sensory sounds that was Group B in the 1980s. In conclusion, Group B was a fan favorite and didn't have to end the way it did. It ended hastily without exploring the safety, and had this happened, Group B may still exist today and rallying would be different as we know it. The concerns for Group A were real. There were some safety and quality concerns of the cars, and the homologation requirements were a little bit of a concern. However, Group A did end up going ahead. Now, the solution I laid out obviously will not happen, but we could bring it back today as a support class for the modern World Rally Championship for everyone to enjoy and to give some jobs and to boost certain economies. If you would like to learn more about the unique motorsport that is rallying, I do encourage you to watch some Group B and modern rallying footage on YouTube and to enjoy rally racing. Thank you.